And welcome back. It's time for this week's Capitol Report with Pat McGuigan of CapitolBeatOK.com. Pat, you've been studying and writing on the police-involved killings of African-American males. Share some of your reflections on that.
Well, the best known locally in this region, of course, is the Tulsa incident where the officer thought he was reaching for his pistol, or that's what he says, and give him the benefit of the doubt, although he's been charged now with manslaughter. And instead of reaching for his pistol, put his hands on his taser, or instead of getting his taser, got his pistol, shot the poor man in the back. Very controversial. We know about it because of the little
the
body cams on the cop. There's other incidents where we know about it because of a good citizen taking a video. Certainly by the time you add all these up, the incidents are very concerning because there seems to be a pattern here, and the pattern is police and African American males. And the question becomes, what's involved? Well, Naomi Emery, a good writer with the Washington Examiner, looked in some detail at 4 different cases and decided race was little or no issue in 2 of them and very much an issue in 2 others. She didn't look at the Tulsa one. Let's wait and see what the evidence brings out over time. I will say we need to avoid rush to judgment because in the case of the man's credentials, there was some belief that the reserve officer, the reserve deputy in question, had not had proper training, when in fact he had had the proper training. I do find it interesting, though, that Kevin Matthews of Tulsa and Paul Wesselhoft of Oklahoma City, 2 legislators, one black, one white, one Democrat, one Republican, share the same kinds of concerns about this issue, and frankly, I do too. There's a big picture and then there's a little picture. Very important to remember that each incident is its own incident with its own set of facts. So we'll withhold judgment on the Tulsa situation. I think it's clear we're in the midst of a crisis in our criminal justice system. It's time for reform.
David Dank, the late David Dank, was honored this past week with the passage of legislation to create a system to evaluate tax credits and incentives. Are you hopeful that this is going to be effective?
Well, the Incentive Evaluation Commission, there's actually 2 different bills. The Incentive Evaluation Commission, consisting of 8 members, accountants appointed by various state officials. I'm a little intrigued and frankly concerned that the Auditor and Inspector's Office is not represented, although one of the things they said they wanted to do is make sure they didn't have an elected official or someone benefiting directly from the programs. 8 officials that were picked or have the power to pick. I have no problem with that group. I do have that one question. The incentives that are existing will be evaluated every 4 years, studied for fiscal impact on the budget, and also for economic effectiveness, economic utility, if you will, in creating jobs that wouldn't have otherwise been created. Now, having said all that, it's clearly stated, measurable goals, things we ought to be able to achieve. The bottom line will be, if any of these incentives disappear 4 years from now or sooner, I'll be the first one to cheer. If they don't, it's a sham.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
All right. Well, you can read more about these and other topics at CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Alex Cameron. Have a great day.